Hello, I'm so happy to be back with another question and answer session of the Showbiz Side Hustle Podcast today. And the reason we're going back to the Q&A sessions is because we have had so much success from the answers delivered by the associates to the listeners, the members, my clients who have asked these questions that are answered live here in the podcast today. You are listening to the Showbiz Side Hustle Podcast, powered by PerformerPreneur. We've got 3 more fabulous questions for 3 different associates with different angles and different areas of expertise. So listen in as we cover things including AI, including franchising, including a mindset, and all different things and areas that the associates and I cover and support you, the performer, pivoting into whatever spotlight you choose, but with the help and support of us, the experts that are a few steps ahead of you, that have done it, have been there, and who are here to help you get to where you want to be. So listen in, and big love from all of us at the associate team, because this is our last episode before we move on to the book. Coming soon, drum roll please. The second edition of the Spotlight on Success book is out and released into the wild on the 30th of June. So today is our last associate episode, which is why we're ending with another Q&A. If you've ever found yourself wondering, what does life look like beyond the stage door? Or could I really do and be something more? Then this best-selling book, Spotlight on Success, is the big, bold yes and guiding light you've been looking for. Packed with insight, experience, and entrepreneurial spirit, this collaboration features 14 inspiring stories from performers who have successfully pivoted their careers, turning uncertainty into opportunity. The Spotlight on Success book is guaranteed to inspire you, stretch your thinking, and strengthen your belief, ready to expand your vision and life beyond the stage. You'll find all the details to grab your copy in the show notes below. In that ad, you have just heard that there are 14 authors, but believe me, you are going to be blown away by the additional 4 co-authors that join us in the second edition of Spotlight on Success, launching on June the 30th. So stick with us and keep an eye out for that huge launch, and make sure you buy the book to read the additional exciting 4 chapters. On to today's Q&A. The first question comes in from Sammy. She's asked this question to associate Jess, and it's about franchising and licensing. Jess does have a free challenge happening this month, so I'll drop all of the notes below for you to check that out and join in if you have any interest or a slight curiosity about what franchising your business could look like for you. Here's Sammy's question and Jess's answer.
Morning. I think my question would be to a franchisor expert. What is the difference between licensing and franchise model, and what are the benefits to the franchisor? And if you sell a license to someone in a dance school in a particular area, does that mean you cannot franchise that area? Hope that's okay.
This is a great question and something I do get asked quite a lot. I am covering it in my free challenge, Franchise in 3 days, so please do join that. But essentially, I would say that a franchise has a little more control, whereas a license model, there's a little bit more freedom in a license model. With a dance school license, if I was to sell a license to a dance school and a franchisee wanted that territory, I would either work out a territory that didn't include that license, or I would contact the dance school that has a license and see if they were interested in being a part of the franchise that is opening up. When this has happened before, people have seen the huge benefits of being a part of the franchise and have upgraded to being in the franchise. So that means the new franchisee is really happy because they have classes running already in that area that were originally ran by the licensee, and the licensee is happy because now they're getting way more support from the franchisor and the franchisee to run essentially what they were already running. So everyone is a win-win. There's different ways of doing it, and it's essential to make sure that everyone is really happy with it and you are not undercutting anyone, but it can definitely be done, and I'm happy to help anyone figure that bit out.
Thank you to Sammy for the question and Jess for her answer. As I say, if you're interested in knowing more about licensing and franchising, Jess is the associate to go to, and she does have a free challenge starting this month. Go check out the details in the show notes below. Moving on, we are hearing from Amy. Amy is one of my one-to-one clients, and we have been working on reaching out to potential clients, to warm leads, and sending that email, sending that request, asking for the role, the position, the job, the opportunity. But she has faced a few mindset blocks along the way. And so we popped a question to Buckso to see what she thought energetically Amy needed to consider and do. Here's Amy's question and Buckso's spiritual guidance and enlightened answer that helps Amy to approach these things with a different energy. Over to you.
Hello, my name's Amy and I am a circus performer. My question is in relation to contacting potential clients. The initial outreach is not a problem. I send them the email, I attach the links to my show reel, I send the links to my Instagram account. I introduce myself. I tell them what I'm about. I send the links. But for me, 8, maybe 9 times out of 10, there's just no response. There's not even a sorry, we're not looking at anybody right now. Now's not the right time. There's just no answer. Would you have any tips or even any hints for me to be able to push past the anxiety that I have about following up with these potential clients that just don't answer the first time round?
Hi, Amy. This is Buckso responding to your question. Now, obviously, I'm going to come from an energetic space and positioning of how you are in which state before you're doing the emails. So I always recommend that people get into a space energetically in their mind, in their body, rather than being, because we're very easy to go from one thing to another mindlessly. So when you're doing something like this, it's always important to get yourself into a space of neutrality energetically, where your thoughts are not constantly bombarding you with nobody's going to answer. I wonder how many are going to respond. I bet nobody responds, because you may not be thinking it, but your body's saying it because it's decided that this is what happens to you or in your emails. So there is an EFT process that you can go through as well, where you tap the side of your hand. You can find some techniques online if you want to, and Google the best routine to remove negative mindset, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you think it is. Is it anxiety that's coming up? It could well be that. I think you mentioned that, didn't you? So anxiety, to remove anxiety before going to ChatGPT and say, give me some clearing statements to go through an EFT process to remove anxiety I've attached to the outcome of my personal outreach. Because the prompt is always quite important as well. And the important thing is that you disrupt what's been your usual MO. It's about pattern interrupt. It's disrupt habits. We assume when we're cold calling, oh, nobody's going to bloody answer anyway. When we have to do cold calls, which I hate, by the way. And then, hey, presto, you're kind of willing them not to answer the phone just so that your assumption can be met, right? So the key thing is to ask yourself, what state am I in right now before I am doing these emails and reaching out to these people? And when you say they're potential clients, are they potentially warm clients, or are these a cold client? They've never met you, they don't know anything about you. Because we want to incentivize, and the whole point of that is to stand out from everybody else. What is your competition not doing? Is there a bunch of flowers that you could send beforehand? So when you say in your email, it's always good to get to the point. Hi, Joanne. Julie here. Sorry, Amy. Amy here. I'm just emailing you because I sent over a beautiful, a bunch of flowers, and I hope you received them, etc., etc. Blah, 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 blah. Right? That's a nice icebreaker, just to say, hey, I'm here. Hello. And start that process, because what's in it for them? WIFM. What's in it for me? WIFM. And this is where we have to put ourselves into their shoes. Why should they pick me? Why should they come to me? Why should they remember me? Your main goal should be always about, how do I make myself stand out from someone else? What can I send these people? Is it flowers? What do they like? What do these sorts of people like? You know, flowers is the easiest option. Yes, it can be quite expensive, but I suppose maybe save that for the special people, or send a little potted plant or something that they look at on the shelf every time and think of you, you know? And this is what I always say to people, like when they do those gifts that are personalized, every time they pick it up, or whether it's a bag or whether it's a pen or something, maybe you could put 3 or 4 little items that are with your personal branding on, and just say, hello, just to let you know, I'm such and such from blah de blah, and I'd like to send you a free gift and 10% off your first what's it with me. I'm not sure what you do, so I can't assume. Give them an incentive. Why should they respond to you? But I think anything that you can send them that makes them think of you, whether it's like mouse pads, a couple of mouse pads and a card and some flowers, depending on how much you want to woo them and how potentially financially beneficial it'll be, the sort of gift or remember me gift should be equivalent to it. I hope that helps, my love. But definitely go through the EFT process. Get yourself into a state of homeostasis where it's not in fight or flight, because that's the energy that you'll write and that's what will go into the words. And if you can do a video, even better. Do a video that's generic that says, hello, I'm Amy. Just wanted to let you know that I'm the founder, the owner of blah de blah. And this is what we're currently doing at the moment. And for the first 10 people, it's A, B, C, or you get this and free gift. And, you know, give them an incentive, give them a reason to click more. Okay, hope that helps.
Wow, wow, wow. Buckso, thank you so much for the answer. It's opened up so many ideas for Amy and I to work on together to build her confidence, to incentivize those ideal clients, and to break that pattern when sending those outreach emails. So I absolutely adore those answers. And Amy, I hope you're listening in and taking note of what you can do to break the cycle, the sequence with that NFT suggestion, but also to incentivize. And I'm going to just drop a little story that going back many, many moons ago when I was building Manic Stage Productions and we had our fire show, I actually sent potential clients in the events industry our leaflet, a personalised letter, but also some tiny little wedding sparklers, because I was advertising and selling our fire show and it went down an absolute storm. So Buckso, you're absolutely right. If we can incentivize these clients and actually make sure they remember who we are and where we've come from, that's a great idea for all of us to take on board. We're moving on now to a question from Claire. And she is asking about social media scheduling. You and I, listeners, all know that if you are on numerous platforms, it can be a huge task to schedule across all of the different things and places and platforms that you want to be showing up in and at regularly. So Michael and Ellie have offered their ideas, and Ellie's going to answer the question and I'll follow up with Michael's tips and tricks as well. Over to you, Claire.
Hi, Nicole and Ellie. Something that I really struggle with, I'd love to know whether you've got a process or a tool that helps you to achieve this. I manage several social media accounts and I find it quite difficult to keep on top of them and make sure that they're all populated. Do you have a tool that you use or a particular process to keep things going and to keep things fresh? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hello. I really like using Metricool for both my clients and for myself. It's a really user-friendly platform, and you can schedule content across multiple different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, etc. And it's also really data-driven. So over time, you can see what's working and basically what's not. So you can then stop wasting your time creating content that's not getting any engagement. And then you can use that data to make smarter decisions about what you want to post, when and where. So I hope that helped. I hope that's helpful. Bye.
Great question there from Claire. Thank you for dropping that in. And Ellie mentioned Metricool. And I've just been having a little Google. It seems really simple and easy to use, but please do have a little look around all of the options and do your due diligence. I knew that Michael would have an answer for this question too. So I dropped him a little line and he replied with the tool AIDA, AIDA. Again, I've had a little look around their website and it seems like something so needed and necessary when we are scheduling so much content across so many platforms. So do check out Metricool and AIDA. I'll pop both links in the show notes below. And if you have a question for the next Q&A session, then please do pop over to our website and ask it there too. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, I wish I could ask a question about my situation, then this is your moment. For our up and coming Q&A episodes, I'm inviting you to submit your questions and get real personalized insight from me and my incredible PerformerPreneur associates. Whether you're stuck on social media, unsure how to grow your business, navigating a pivot, or trying to turn an idea into an income, we want to hear from you. All you need to do is head over to the PerformerPreneur website, hit the associate page and submit your question, and you could be featured in a future episode too. Your question answered. Your next step clearer. Go on, send it in. We can't wait to hear from you. So lots of things for you to think about, and it's a little bit of a goodbye from me in terms of what we're doing in this season with the associates. I'll be moving on to talk to you about the book, the second edition of Spotlight on Success, coming out on June the 30th. So listen in next week for an introduction episode, followed by a week-on-week episode from all of the new co-authors, bringing you their story, their successes, both on and off stage, and creating their own spotlights. It's been a pleasure to serve you here with the associates this season, and please do go listen back to meet them all individually on their episodes and the Q&A episodes where they show their expertise in real time. Also dropped in and out of this season, we've had my solo episodes that have helped you to build your business better. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to introducing the book to you next week. Big love. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for joining me here on the Showbiz Side Hustle Podcast. So until next time, please do take a little bit of action, that very first step, and make sure that you are doing something for you and your Showbiz Side Hustle this week to move you forward and get you heading quickly and swiftly and strategically towards success.